started off today. This morning we left early and then we drove right by this place that I'm going to show you on the highway. Here, it's this land here on the left. So don't worry, we're going to come back and see more of it from the actual land, but it's the land up here on the left. And there's a telephone mast all the way up top, and then there's the lake. So the land borders the lake, and all these trees here are included. So right where we're at now is the land on the left and the right. And it's about 40 hectares or 80 acres. And I found it a few days ago and I just got really intrigued by the idea of buying it because there's cash flowing stuff on the land already, where they're paying for a telephone mast and some roads and some cables. And there's also the potential of rezoning big parts of this land and actually make bank in the future if you can make it into lots for people to live on. I'm going to show you around a little bit. There's a house out on the peninsula there, but that one is not included. But then the land continues beyond that for quite a long way, and then big peninsula there, and it continues a bit up on this side. But this is just a small part of the land, or one of the smaller parts of the land. So we're going to climb back up and get my car, and then I will show you some more. So this is some land that's for sale, and I really want to buy it. So we are going to do some for Sweden Bold strategies to see if we can get a hold of it before too many offers and bids come in from other directions. And what it is about 40 hectares, 80 acres of forest with a lot of potential buildable land and already existing cash flow. So there's two parcels where we're driving right now. There's one on the left, a big triangular piece, and there's one on the right, a big, zigzaggy piece, and it goes by quite a few houses as well. So there are some houses that are built sporadically throughout the land, and we're driving on this rather smooth road. There's a house, speaking of them, and here's the road. There's a row of houses here. Actually, that's all embedded in the land, but this land in between these, like this little chunk right here, and a lot of the chunks up here are included in this deal. So it's 4 parcels actually, but 3 that matter. The one is super tiny, a little allotment where they used to have them back in the days, where you could harvest birch trees for firewood, but not really needed anymore. So there's the 2 parcels we drove by just back here. On one side you're too close to the highway to do much, but there is some value in the woods growing on that part, and they're easy to get to. So I think you can get some money out of taking most of that wood out and clearing up, because it's too dense, so you don't get the type vegetation on the ground and stuff that you want. So we could do some forestry in there and hopefully get some money back towards the purchase price, after, or to pay off debt or whatever. And now we're driving by the highway, by the way. It's right here. So the highway runs right through the property over further up the road. The property starts here. The big part of the property, I should say. The big parcel. It's the whole mountain range up here. And there's a little road up the side here I'm going to show you. So then you can continue under the highway. This is all the property here, and you can continue under the highway, and there is a lake out here. I got footage of the lake right here where it follows this lake for about a mile with one small property that's exempt. There is one lot divided off. The rest is included in this piece of land that I'm trying to get hold of. And it's beautiful here, and there might be a little background noise, and if there is, it's one that I want, because that's the highway that goes into town from here. So this is a pretty sought after location with a bigger city nearby, where there's a lot of building going on, and the big demand for this bigger city keeps pushing the demand this way. So I believe this could be a very, very good deal. And then there's the telephone mast up there, and that mast helps produce a pretty good cash flow on the property. And then it's all the woods around here. So in total it's about 40 hectares or 80 acres, but split in 3 parts, where this part is, at least I'd say 85% of the total size, and the other parts are a little smaller, but not very bad. So when sold as forest, this is not that good of land, so it's priced relatively cheap per acre forest. But giving the cash flow potential that's out here, with, I could put potential signs up along the road, we could sell off quite a lot of lots, and we could also try to get it rezoned to where we can build even more property, quite a lot more property if we're really lucky in the future, even though it might be a long time. But the main initial goal, I think, would be to see if we can make some lots, maybe build some of them, and sell houses as well, since we're in the business of selling and delivering houses. Maybe make a campsite and maximize cash flows, and sell, like I said, sell lots and sell some of the parts off, sell a lot of the wood off, and with all that hopefully get most of our money back quite quickly. And when and if we get our money back, we can wait it out for hopeful future potential zoning and whatnot. So now we are back to where those 2 parts are. It's that part here, and then you got the pumpkin farm, and then on the other side the land continues all throughout all throughout here. And then it's also the land here on the right. So it's both sides of the road as we were driving along here right now. And then there's just a little house coming up right here, and it's sort of located in the middle of our land as well, right there. So there's been lots cut off in this area for quite some time, and that makes me hopeful we can keep doing a few more of those. And with that said and shown, this is something that we really, really want, because it'd be a great, platform to work from as part of our business growth the next few years, because we can put houses up here, and then there's the fields out here, and then a little further out there, just behind the mountain you see on the left, there is the ocean. So close to the beach, close to popular cities, Kungsbacka and Göteborg, and a lot of potential in sales of houses and properties on here. And then for the future, it's always good to sit on land, I think, because there's that old saying that I kind of like. It's they say buy land because God doesn't make that anymore. And that's almost true, I'd say, but not quite true anymore, because they do make new land. Like Miami Beach is made out of nowhere, and also a lot of stuff in Dubai and places like that. So Singapore is expanding out into the ocean, so there is some new land being built, but not in any major extent. So therefore we think owning land could be wise, especially if we can do business with it and make more money back quite quickly than we paid for it, and then still hold a bunch of land. So to move this forward and to give it our best shot, we're now going to see, I happen to know in what town this lady lives, and we're going to go there and post a letter to her, and hopefully with that she'll bite, and we'll be able to buy it before it goes out on market, and we get a price substantially higher than what we're hoping to buy it for. And I found the owner through research online, because you can go backwards on property ownership, and then I'm going to drop off a letter or mail her a letter where I've written sort of a story of what I'm willing to offer, why I really want to buy it, and where I've pushed quite hard hoping to be able to get it. So I'm going to go drop this letter off and then just really hope and pray that I hear from her again, and that she's willing to go ahead with it. And if she does, that would be fantastic. If not, at least hopefully she'll remember my name when I submit my offer with all the others later, and at least maybe come back and ask for a counter offer or keep me up to date on wherever they want to go. So next up now is to we've been out seeing the land. Next up now is dropping off this letter, and then we pray. Let's go. The lady just texted back, and it's been a few days since I had dropped off that letter, and she's decided to move forward the standardized way with the realtor, and was not willing to let it go early, even though she was very polite and friendly. And hopefully too, getting your name in there in the mix helps when they're making their decisions for what to do next. But no go on that one, so I just sent in a formal offer as well, and we'll have to wait and see if we hear back. A super quick update on where we're at right now. So my offer was put in, the realtor contacted me back and said I think it was 14 bidders initially putting in offers on the property, and we've been raising the bids a little bit as we go, so we're up on I think 10% over the asking price right now, and I think we'll keep going up a little bit more, but it's me and 6 other bidders or something left. We're still hoping to be able to get hold of it, so maybe today, maybe during the weekend. We're good to go a little bit further up. The bank was quite generous on this property, so we're still in it and still hoping to get hold of this. I'll keep you posted. A lot is happening, and it's getting it's getting more intense. I definitely say more intense, because for me this is a rather big deal. But what happened is the bids kept on going up, so my bank is pretty generous with this deal, especially from where we started. So we're getting a pretty good loan amount on it, about 75% off what I thought would be way above the asking price. But we've kept climbing and climbing and climbing. But as the bids increase and the land is getting more expensive, I'm also finding more value in it as I research. However, I'm getting to a point now where I need a very large sum of my own money, as the bank won't go further than to like this here limit, and it's eating up too much capital. Or if I borrow that money externally, I'll have to pay a higher interest on it, since it's venture capital or whatever you call it. Like, it's not, I'd either borrow it from, actually I was going to borrow it from my dad. It's still an option, or I have another investor that's helped me buy properties before that's also willing to lend us money on it, but we'll pay them a few percent more than we pay the bank in interest. So at this point we're starting to become potentially cash flow negative, which is not what we want, because the whole idea with this land was buying something that was cash flow positive that we could then add value in by selling off lots. So the other day I called another friend of mine that's I stay in touch with consistently, but he's a really big developer in Sweden, and we talked for a while, and then he said, why don't we do this, why don't we go in 50-50, you use the bank mortgage and you'll own it, and then I'll loan you the other half, and then it's actually the realtor calling right now, I need to get that, and then we do split profits. So that's probably our option right now. I'll buy it together with this big investor, and then we'll just go ahead and split whatever money is made on the land. And this might actually end up working to our benefit, as he's such a big developer that he has a lot of presence if we go to the county trying to change the zoning and stuff to build more houses. So the realtor just called. I'm going to call him back, and then probably have to raise our bids even more, and then we'll go from there. Peace out. So how did it end? Well, not quite the way we wanted, which is probably I gave that away in the title of the video. But what happened is it kept climbing up, the bids kept climbing up, and I went past all these options. So the last option we discussed was using my real estate developing friend to go in as a 50-50 partner, and I would be able to keep the property in my name and use the bank financing on my 50%, and he would then put in his 50% cash, and that looked good for a good while. But the bids went so high on this property, more or less like double the asking price in the end, that even that took us out of being cash flow positive. And I told him about it, and he said, well, you did find a good property, so what we could do is this, I'll lend you your half from me for an interest lower than the bank's, and we'll go in 50-50, so I'll front all the money, but you pay half of it back to me with an interest lower than the one I was offered by my bank. And with that we kept on going a few more steps, and we lost all other bidders except one that was, I guess, even more stubborn than us, because we reached levels where we were just, it was too high to look like we were going to make good money on it, and we decided that, yep, that's going to be the final offer of ours. We put it in and waited a little bit, and then got the call back from the realtor that, yeah, no, the other guy is going to go even higher. So that was an end to it. And then he just emailed me now letting me know that that contract is signed and the payment is done, and he's taken over the property. So it's a gone deal, which is a big shame, because especially with that final offer from my developing friend, it would have made it a fantastic deal for us, but not this time. And it's a tough game, the game of real estate. It's good though. What it did do is open my eyes a bit to land more than I've had before, and I'm really intrigued now to buy land, and we're actually involved in negotiating other deals already. So we'll see where this ends up, but shame. It would have been nice. Maybe next time. See you then. Bye bye.